Hello, awesome people. I hope you're having an amazing day today. Today I am for my Mondays where I do reviews of things in the RPG or war game world and such. I'm going to be reviewing, which I've done a few things the past few weeks. A Lost Classic, a module that I don't think gets the respect that it deserves, and that's L1's The Secret of Bone Hill by Lenard Lakofka from 1981. L1 for you folks. L2, The Assassin's Knot does. And so forth, but I feel like this one doesn't get the respect that it deserves, and so forth from 81. Written again by Lenard Lakofka, art by Bill Willingham. I think it does a good job here. 4 players with levels 1, 2 to 4, and a few here and there, so it's going to be more than your typical modern day party. So I did run this as a DM once, a few years ago, so I have experience running it as a DM. I also have read it, love it lots. I moved its location to another plane of mind, but I like what's happening here, and I think it's good stuff. For first edition, it's set in the Lenard Isles in Greyhawk for your folks, so that's where you're interested. It's good stuff too. And again, I moved it around just as a heads up. You can totally do that too. Its plot is around a bunch of bad things happening around the unexplored area of the Bone Hill, which you'll explore. It also adds in monsters. It feels more like a mini campaign, so you're going here and there and checking things out and then responding to it. More like the Cult of the Reptile God by Douglas Niles, or the Temple of Hamlet, like Gary Guy. See, I think he did that one too, and such. So it feels more like those. Love it lots. So it does add some monsters here and there. The critiques at the time were a few. First of all, the black and white map of the stuff in the centers is in here instead of art. It's traditionally been maps, but here they just did art, which you can't even see, so they don't like. They prefer the maps. Also, they don't like it's harder to run for Dungeon Master of such. So even though it's a beginning party, there's not a lot of aids and so forth. I think I would want to point out that I just want a good game, right? I just want something that does a good job, right? And that sort of thing. I prefer more about the quality of the experience for the players, for the dungeon masters, that sort of a thing, right? And I put that above the level of, maps, presentations, or whether in color, black and white, right? Or stuff like, how hard it is to dungeon master, right? I just want to make sure that it's a good and compelling story, and I think that does so very quite well. And so forth. So I think this is an underappreciated classic, like I mentioned earlier too. L2, The Assassin's Knot, also by Lenard, and also set in the Lenard Isles in Greyhawk, is great because it gives you that updates to what's happening and that sort of a thing. It's more of a murder mystery and so forth. So it's got a lot of stuff. Like I said, it's got a lot of a plot. It's hit the top 30 and so forth, and this doesn't. By a lot of people that were put out there for the anniversary and that sort of thing. But I think this is definitely a strong. I think a lot of things are out there just not really appreciating this for the strength that they should. Because I think it's a pretty good, strong, fun module for you folks. I feel like this is an underappreciated classic. Like I said, I like that this is way better. This gives you way more stuff to do. It's a longer module. You have more of the ability to make it your own as a player or as a dungeon master. Like I said earlier, it's more of a mini campaign that will take you a while to figure out. You can kind of delve it out. Here's my one major concern for beginners is this can feel a little Monty Hallish at times, particularly for beginning parties and so forth. For example, if I recall correctly, one of the books that increases somebody's stat by 1 is here, right? In an earlier style like that, it feels a little Monty Hallish, right? Or I don't remember which one it is, but one of them is here, right? And that's one example. that I would give negatively of it, and that sort of a thing. So it can feel a little money hollish at time, but a lot of the early first edition stuff, or back we did too, it can feel, like I said, more of a campaign, like the Village of Holland and such. It's a 10 out of 10. Love it much. It hit high on my recent top 30 modules that I recently did, and it hit higher than the Assassins and all, which I still like too. I just feel like it's a little appreciated, whereas I think this one, and that's a nice night to help you out to get away if people are tired of dungeon delving and exploring, that sort of a thing, so you wouldn't have to do a murder mystery. I think that's value in that. But I just don't feel that, I feel like this is just a stronger mini campaign, right? I feel it's a longer thing, so I'm giving this a 10 out of 10 for you folks. That's my just a quick and dirty review of The Secret of Bone and Hill for you folks for first edition in Greyhawk in the Lenard Lakofka. So it introduces them. So there you are. Have you read it? If so, have you run it? Have you played it? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below for you folks. And if you agree or disagree with my 10 out of 10, let me know what your thoughts are too. I'd be happy to talk with you about it further, whatever your thoughts are. And so forth, just try to keep them spoiler review. I talked about the plot very, very loosely about the secrets because it's literally in the title. The Secret of Bone Hill. So please don't spoil the secret. I know it's decades old, and you want to because you want to talk about this, but please, I didn't. So please make sure you are doing that and respecting the same thing. And so there you are. If you like this video, why not hit the subscribe button, the like button, bell icon to be notified of my videos because I do 7 these a week and such. And then also, just let your friends know, Dungeons and Dragons friends or first edition friends or TSR friends, right? That sort of thing. Whatever. Love them lots. Greyhawk fans. But whoever you've got out there, just share them this. I think it'd be great stuff. And then also, the title of the channel is The Worst Thing About New Books. It's a quote by a French philosopher, Jacques Joubert, who said that the worst thing about them was that they kept us from reading the old ones, right? Because we do some older stuff like this. In this game, in this case, from the 80s, it's definitely a classic, since that's what we might have forgotten about. In this case, you're playing it or running it after you read it, but you got to read it first because it's in a book form. Love it lots for those reasons. So that's the passion of this channel. 3 of my reviews I do a week in addition to this one are on older science fiction, fantasy, or horror written works, like that sort of a thing. Tomorrow will be H.P. Lovecraft. On Thursday, I got a post-apocalyptic Mad Max inspired game book series, and then on Friday, on Sundays, I just did Michael Moorcock yesterday, a character in the Eternal Champion series, right? So that's the kind of stuff you're kind of getting if you get that feel for it. I also do a video game on Wednesday, typically a throwback one. I just did, the Star Control 2, and I'm about ready to finish that. I actually have one mission left, and I'll actually finish my replay of it. I was inspired by my review. And then, on Saturday I do serials dedicated to lost genres and the tellings of that. I call it Serial Saturday. And then on Fridays I like to do a lot of top 10 videos, horror folks. So if you like that stuff, then definitely stay around and check it out. Or if just this stuff, you just like the D&D and war games, like stuff like that, then that's fine. Stick around for this. Whatever. There's no pressure. Whatever you're feeling. I'm not going to lose any sleep because you only watch like 1/7 of my channels on today. Last week and the last few weeks I've done some reviews for things like the ruins. I did all the way back to the Castle Lambert, the Temple of Dread rather. I did Bone Hill last week. I did the CM1 from Douglas Niles also, who I talked about earlier, and that sort of a thing. So great stuff too. All right, and then I want to thank you so very much for taking some time out of your day and investing in watching my videos, right? Because we all have so many things, right, that are happening in our lives, and we're pulled in so many different directions. So the fact that you spend this time with me, that's incredibly humbling. And I appreciate it so very, very much. So thanks again, and have an amazing day.